Hello, and thank you for joining us today on this special edition of the newsfeed called the Campus Cuisine Connection. Today, we will be discussing Virginia Tech's food from national and local reviews to how the community gives back with food. Before we get started, let me introduce our guests. Ted Faulkner is the Director of Dining Services. He has played a key role in redesigning dining facilities, the development of Turner Place, sustainability initiatives, and customer service. The next is Ryle Carver, the Sustainability Coordinator for Virginia Tech Dining Services. She works with local farms to bring Virginia Tech fresh, local food. She also helps dining halls stay green through recycling and other initiatives. Next, we have Perry Martin. He is the Senior Director of Community Learning at VT Engage, who works with Campus Kitchen. Campus Kitchen is a national student service program that has just started at Virginia Tech about a year ago. Students use on-campus kitchen space and food donations from cafeterias to prepare and deliver food to those in need. Finally, this is Jordan Dutro. She's a graduate assistant for Virginia Tech Sports Nutrition. She works directly with student athletes on their nutrition and helps find good fuel for their bodies. She works with Nutritional Oasis, Nutritional Education, and Body Pods. It's good to have you all here with us today. So let's begin the show by looking at our national reviews our campus has received this year. For the 2016 Princeton Review has us in the number 3 spot for Best Campus Food, with the University of Massachusetts Amherst and Bowdoin College at numbers 2 and 1. With that being said, the Active Times ranked Virginia Tech number 1 in their top 50 fittest colleges in America report last year. The article specifically mentions our dining hall's healthy eating options. Let's start with Ted. Ted, how do you think Virginia Tech gained its number 3 spot for best food?
Well, Trevor, I think it really revolves around listening to the students and being a champion of their voice. Our program's designed around providing services and options that they desire at high levels. We have a great team. I believe we have one of the best teams in this entire country, 2,200 strong, that are stayed committed to listening to the students and providing that exceptional service. And I believe we've been able to develop a culture within the program that across all our venues, across the entire campus, that each member feels heavily relied on to maintain that excellence across here. And so reaching number 3 was a great honor, but I think I'm even more proud that we've been in the top 4 for 11 straight years. So it's been sustained success over that time frame.
All right, thank you, Ted. This next question is for Jordan. Do you agree that our healthy eating options had something to do with our high fitness ranking?
Yeah, I think students or people who are really concerned about their fitness and overall well-being and who exercise more on a regular basis are also usually in tune with their nutrition and their dietary intake. So I think that gives the students all the food options here they're really pleased with, and they're also going to hopefully choose those healthier, more nutrient-dense options that we have so much here on campus, and therefore going to contribute to their success of their fitness and their overall health and well-being.
All right, now for Ryle, do you think the use of local produce ups our game when it comes to these rankings?
Absolutely. Some of our on-campus partnerships with the College of Agriculture have been really well received, and we receive feedback from students, staff, faculty, alum, everyone related to Virginia Tech campus that they find it a really interesting program that we have on campus.
All right, and Perry, as a former Hokie, what do you think about the food?
Well, I was a student, an undergraduate student at Virginia Tech in the 90s, and so at that time, I don't know that we looked at dining as anything unique. It's a unique attribute of Virginia Tech. Quite candidly, a lot of my time was going to local fast food places at that time. Now, as an employee at Tech, I do go with students occasionally. We dine at D2 in particular. The thing that I'm impressed with is the variety of food, because if you have where we have diversity at Tech, there's a lot of different tastes, a lot of different people desiring the healthy food options, and I think dining really has done a great job of getting something for everyone in the dining program. So, and it's also very accessible. The expanded geographic, around campus areas, and particularly Turner Place, makes it a lot more, particularly for commuter students, which I was most of my time as an undergrad. Had we had that back then, that would have been a lot more easier for me to dine there.
What do you think students would see in need of improvement on campus right now for dining? Anyone can answer, just really briefly.
I would say from the sustainability perspective, sustainability on campus is always a little bit of a moving target. New things are coming around that other universities are working on or that we want to work on, and really keeping track of what those trends are and making sure that dining services is maintaining that quality of service while also thinking about the environment. I think that's something that students are interested in, and it's something that we've definitely kept an eye on.
So for me, I think we hear from the students, they'd probably like to see more locations, maybe extended hours, and being part of the dining leadership, we always walk a tight line on being fiscally responsible for the student dining plan monies and how that looks. I don't think students sometimes realize the impact of just adding an additional hour, that could be upwards to $100,000 to $125,000 more annually just for one additional hour, 5 days a week at a location. And that doesn't put more food on the plate, that's just an operating expense. The students are just going to choose to eat at a different time, so that really becomes part of the administrative fee, which I know the students aren't a huge fan of. And so we'd like to see some additional capacity on what the students refer to as the academic side of the campus. We hear that quite often. And there's a couple ideas, I think Thai food or a noodle concept we've been hearing quite a bit about for offering there. There seem to be migrating more towards the grab and go, the fast fare, the portable food selections that they can get quickly to traverse campus. We've seen our largest growth in that segment. So.
All right, well, up next we have a short segment where us are going to be behind the scenes. Those of us producing this are going to be taste testing the food. Hello and welcome to Campus Cuisine Connections. I'm Trevor Scott and I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Kennedy McGrath.
I'm Samantha Hill.
And I'm Julia Sav.
And we're going to be taste testing some food here on campus. Now, what we got here today is we got coffee and donuts from Oasis in Newman Library. We got Burger 37 hand-cut sweet potato fries with different sauces. We have sriracha mayo and Burger 37 sauce. And we have beef and vegetables from Bowl Dynasty in Owens. So, oh, that is sweet. That is...
The cappuccino is good, not too sweet, because I don't like that about places like Starbucks, where if you get a sweeter drink, it kind of like drowns you in sweetness at the end, so.
Fun. Yeah, let's taste the
It
Burger
definitely
37.
tastes like barbecue, but like with a little bit of a kick to it.
Ooh, I like it though.
It's a spicy.
It's spicy kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. The fries themselves are good.
Mm-hmm. And they're sweet potatoes, so they're supposed to be healthier than regular fries.
Yeah, definitely follows the whole flow on campus. Healthy fries, healthy college kids,
Healthy lives.
healthy lives. Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Even when we splurge on fries, we can be a little healthier.
I don't know.
You know, honestly, I've had a lot of Chinese food. I'm very picky.
Same.
And sometimes I hate when it's really greasy. This is not greasy at all.
Like China Inn when
Yeah.
you get delivery.
So I really like the fact that it's not greasy.
Yeah.
Because that makes me feel so much better about myself.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, and I guess back to the show. Coming up next, we're going to discuss our reactions to the food and also talk more about dining services in full. Please stay with us as we go to break.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to this special edition of the newsfeed, Campus Cuisine Connection. Joining with us today are Ted Faulkner, Director of Dining Services, Raul Carver with Sustainability, Jordan Dutro, a graduate assistant with Virginia Tech Sports Nutrition, and Perry Martin from Campus Kitchen. So far, we've talked about Virginia Tech's food and fitness ratings, as well as what perhaps some of our students were thinking about campus dining. We got more students' reactions now. We're going to play a short video, and it's going to be us interviewing students we found in Squires. Afterwards, I'll let you know what they said, and we're going to discuss what some of their reactions were.
I think we're number one. I think the food here is amazing, and there's not much more they could really do. I think with the space that we have, and maybe building more buildings or different places to eat. But I think what we have here, I think we're lucky to have.
I think we could definitely use a Starbucks. That would be great, so we don't have to go to the off-campus ones. And also, I think more options for salads in another place like ABP, since those are always so crowded.
Yeah, D2 is definitely one of the old-time favorites. I'm a big Qdoba fan as well, so I really enjoy that one.
I don't think we're actually missing anything. We have a lot of different options for food, a lot of healthy options. We have Chinese food and hibachi, and I think there's a great variety.
I love West End. It's a problem. I love the grill over there. I like how you can get whatever you want. It's not that expensive, not that slow, so I like it. It's good.
So as we saw, there was numerous reactions. Most people were not surprised that Virginia Tech was ranked number 3 in campus dining. Are you guys surprised at all by the support you have from the students, or have you noticed any reactions from your interactions with students yourselves about what they think about dining?
Well, I could start. Again, one of the reactions I have that I'm not surprised that students would see the quality in dining. Again, as someone who's an employee here at Tech, you typically don't see employees excited to go into a dining facility. And again, after our staff meetings on a monthly basis, we and the Vistas in our office will go to D2 to dine. And certainly we have a lot of options in the community, and there are great options out there. But the fact that we want to go there, the fact that we go there knowing that there's something for everyone, I'm not surprised at all that there's good feeling towards dining.
And Ted, one student mentioned that what she thought was missing from dining on campus was a Starbucks. Mm-hmm. Do you foresee that in the future at all, or is that something that has ever been in the works?
Well, we actually do have Proudly Brew Starbucks at Owens Food Court, so we do that, and I think a testament to our program is that when we offer coffee, we try never to duplicate it, much like our selections from dining center to dining center, that it's a destination that you go there. So Dietz Place is 23 years old, and in a concept, we buy beans green there and roast them, so it's a self-branded concept. We brought in the Aubon Pond in January of 2004, and it was the first college and university-run Aubon Pan located on a campus anywhere in the country. We have Brugger's Bagels that we brought in 2012 that has a coffee program. They were the first Brugger's Bagels at a college and university setting. We have Pete's Coffee from, which I think is my favorite on campus, which gives you a darker, bolder item selection. And of course, Dunkin's well known for their coffee. So as far as Starbucks, we often release RFPs, requests for proposals. It gives opportunities for those business segments to bid and submit a proposal to dining services to see if we could operate that on campus. To date, we haven't been able to work that out, but as we continue to look at the possibilities to expand, I think you're going to see even a larger differentiation of offerings, and so the next concept on campus will likely be something different that we don't currently have. I can't really speak to what that may be until that process is vetted out, but we have great different varieties of coffee on campus.
And Ryle, there were some reactions to the to-go containers, which many consider the most recent program with that, the reusable ones,
Mm-hmm.
such as like Owens Hall, to be quite successful. Have you heard any reactions from students on that?
Well, we started the reusable to-go container program at West End a few years ago, and the comments from that program was, why can't we do this at more units, more dining centers? So this past fall, we added the program to Owens and Turner Place, and since having 3 units using the program, we've definitely seen an increase in participation in the reusable to-go container program, which really makes an impact on the waste stream leaving campus, which is important.
Jordan, so a lot of reactions on campus have been that there's a very wide selection of healthy foods. Are there any foods in particular you'd recommend or anything you can comment on in that regard?
Yeah, a lot of the athletes that I meet are very pleased with all of the variety of food choices on campus, which also makes our job as dietitians a lot easier because we can help them make those better choices and give them suggestions of places to go, and it doesn't just have to be one place, one restaurant that just has those more nutrient-dense options. A lot of our athletes do go to West End and get a lot of the to-go boxes because they are so busy. And it's also just very close, so they utilize that a lot. But I think Weston has a lot of good options. I always recommend Chop House. It's just a good place to get usually a lean protein source. You can get some sort of carbohydrate in. If it needs to be a denser carb or a lighter carb, they usually have that option, and there's always some sort of good veggies. They also have like the leaf and ladle, or they can get super salad or wrap world. So we talk mostly about Weston than anything, just because our athletes use it more. But I think it's a great place and a lot of variety.
Thanks. So our next is our open question. What dining hall do you think is the biggest game changer in making us higher ranked than other schools? I mean, personally, I'm a huge fan of Owens. I used to live like right next to it, so I go there every day. And I still live close to campus, so I'm always going to Owens. But open question, anybody, what dining hall is your favorite, or which one do you think is really stepping us up?
So, Trevor, I'd like to address that. What was the game changer really was when we opened West End Market, which was a marché concept, and we brought all the cooking platforms out front. We saw required dining plan holders, loving it, but we saw an uptick in off-campus dining plan sales. That started in '99. 2004, we brought on D2 at Dietrich Hall. They wanted similar concept, cooking platforms out front, but in an all-you-care-to-eat setting. Owens Food Court was already vibrant. Hokie Grill existed. We started operating Squires Student Center at the same time, and then really sending us over the top being Turner Place, our first location on the academic side of campus. That collectively, I think, is the game changer because we have destination dining, as I've said before, that we have a little bit of everything if you're looking for it. You may have to go to a location for it, and we do that with intent. We don't want duplication from dining center to dining center. But it's just that commitment of preparing from scratch, offering it at a good value. I think we've been so successful. We believe we have the highest participation rate in the entire country. Undergraduate students, 90.2% have some form of monies or dining plan that it can only be spent in our dining centers. You add in the graduate student population, 81% of our student population, including graduate students, also have some form of dining plan. So 8 out of every 10 students you come into contact with us on campus have invested in our services.
All right, Ryle, any quick reaction to that?
Well, I think Ted said it best. Really, it's a matter of the combination of what dining services provides. I think that's something students are really looking for and can find really what they're interested in, the food that they would like to eat. They can find it on campus.
All right, Perry, anything else?
Well, I think one of the things when we talk about game changers, I think the sustainability efforts in general. I think that, again, when we look at campus-wide initiatives, certainly we look at quality from top to bottom. And I think that for students to be able to know that there's a conscientiousness that's happening with the dining programs, I think is huge, and I think it factors into the rankings as well. As we've worked with the Campus Kitchens project, one of the things we learned working with other institutions is that their sustainability efforts were not as developed as what was happening here at Tech. And I think that's a huge again, to use the term game changer in terms of what we have here on campus.
Yeah, I mean, for me as part of like the nutrition aspect of it, and from what Ted said about West End, which is more of where my experience comes from, really has made a huge contribution to this campus and for all students, especially our athletes, and being able to provide them good, real, whole food that is also very nutritious, and they can get whatever they want from Weston. They have so many different options, but then all over campus as well. So I think that's great for all the students, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to cut back to commercial. But when we come back, we're going to talk about how Virginia Tech Dining Services gives back to the community. More after this.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to this special edition of the Newsfeed Campus Cuisine Connection. During this segment, we have looked at Virginia Tech's food and fitness ratings. Our guests have also got to hear from Virginia Tech students directly, including our very own Campus Cuisine crew, about what they think about food. Now we're going to talk about how campus food embodies ootprosum. Through the ideas, though the two ideas may seem not to go together, Virginia Tech and the community as a whole give back with food. Let's begin with Perry. Tell us, our viewers, more about your organization, Campus Kitchen, and what it does for campus.
Sure. Well, Campus Kitchens is a nationwide effort. It began in the early 2000s up in Washington, D.C., actually. And it's an effort to look at food that's in excess in the dining halls, that's prepared but not going to be consumed. And so this is food that's still perfectly safe. It's been handled safely, but it's not ultimately going to be utilized in the dining facilities. And so as Raul mentioned, there's a waste stream that we're concerned about of how much waste are we producing. Campus Kitchens was a nationwide effort to look at college and universities and even getting into some K-12 environments to see how can we reduce waste. So it's a formal effort to have volunteers safely handle food, capture food for the, we use the term diversion, divert it then to local hunger relief agencies in the area. So Campus Kitchens at Virginia Tech officially kicked off in September of 2015. We're a program of VT Engage, which is under the Division of Student Affairs, but our focus is encouraging volunteerism, service learning among the student population. So our VISTA program particularly took on this project to look at how we could infuse volunteers and the broader community into this diversion effort. And so while diversion has been happening in dining facilities for a while, what's changed is that we have a very broad formal effort of volunteers led by our AmeriCorps VISTA members who have organized to build a very broad system that looks at the diversion of food. Also, we're doing some meals prep for local hunger relief agencies. We're doing delivery of food to local agencies. And then we're also volunteering with those agencies. So we're looking at really the whole system of this issue of food insecurity and exploring how this one part of the solution, how volunteers can be involved with it. We've, to this point, had 485 students become volunteers with Campus Kitchens in some form or facet. Of the diversion program in dining halls, we have well over 30 volunteers who are trained in the same trainings that are used by dining staff to safely handle foods, to take temperatures, to log, to track. And again, this has hopefully been a win-win for everyone involved in that it's helping dining services, but it's also helping the local hunger relief effort in the New River Valley.
Thank you. Talk about your organization's sustainability efforts. I know you work with farms in the area. Can you just speak a little bit more about what you do?
Sure. So I work a lot with our local food purchasing. We work with campus organizations through the College of Agriculture. We serve Virginia Tech milk on campus at Dietrich and D2. We also work with the Virginia Tech Meat Science Center, serve beef, lamb, and pork in Dietrich, Owens, Turner Place in West End. And then the other big local sourcing option we have is our dining services farm at Kentland, which produced 48,000 pounds of produce this past season, which is very exciting. Just between those 3 programs on campus, we served about $160,000 worth of products in the last academic year that were produced on campus and then served on campus. So that's a really great local sourcing opportunity. And then we also work very closely with our distributors to find local options and serve those on campus.
Thank you. So up next we have the 3rd floor of Wallace Hall. It doesn't always have your standard classroom, but there's a full functioning kitchen where students are graded on their food preparation. The Food Production Lab is where students who are enrolled in purchasing, production, and management courses learn the fundamentals and importance food has in the hospitality and tourism management world. Head chef and instructor James E. Sexton manages the class and teaches the ins and outs of the kitchen.
I want them to know the fundamentals of food so that they can serve food properly and safely. Because the other component of this class is a food safety component. We have to make sure, and we try and get our students certified and serve safe, so they have the safe food aspect of it.
Chef Sexton has over 30 years of food service industry experience and with hands-on learning teaches his students the importance of food and safety with the hopes of them passing it on to their future studies and communities. So before we end, can you tell us what your favorite food to eat is? Start with you, Ted.
Okay. I get asked this all the time, and people are always taken back. It's peanut butter. I could eat peanut butter every day. I love fresh ground peanut butter, and usually what accompanies it, bread, carbs, or celery. So, love peanut butter.
I agree so much. Ryle?
Well, on campus, I really love eating from farms and fields. It's what I'm interested in, but it also has great options. So, and something a little different every day. So I love going to farms and fields.
Okay, Perry?
On campus, I'll go with one particular food item. It's the Cajun tilapia. That's in D2. It's in the gluten-free section, I believe, there. I love it. And again, off campus, if I was saying a restaurant, the Swing and Bridge restaurant in Paint Bank, Virginia. If you haven't heard of it, it's 50 minutes from here. But it's a great restaurant. Also, very good. They grow a lot of their own food there. And so, again, part of that local sustainability effort.
Jordan?
Oh gosh, I love every food, I think. But I would say on campus, I really like Farms and Field as well. I love that you know where the food's coming from. I love that they always have like something different and interesting, and I love trying new foods too. So, and it always is very fresh and colorful, and yeah, I just love that place. So.
All right, well, that will wrap up this special edition of the Newsfeed, Campus Cuisine Connection. Let me give a big thank you to our guests for joining us today. Viewers, if you have a story idea or even a talk show idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com, and as always, you can connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Trevor Scott.